Welcome back! Anywho, we're gonna go ahead and proceed with the plot. And yeah, that's the rock in the end of this room, which was blocking our path forward. But the Cheshire Cat is capable of much greater strength than we are. So now we can actually go ahead and proceed. But first, we got a new enemy. These are the large bodies. These are enemies that are... well, they're basically big tanks, and their gimmick is that they can only be attacked from the sides and their back. Their front will deflect all the attacks. They can have also pretty range of nasty attacks, and if they get to low health, they'll do this. They'll face their attacker and do this little charge attack after a while. You can parry it to stun them for a while, but it's not as easy unless we get a specific ability, which we don't have access to. Now, here we actually got the tea party. Unfortunately, the partygoers are currently in paintings. Unfortunately, unlike Super 64, you can't go and visit them. So instead, all we can do is just to sit down and get a present. Now, depending on the seat you take, you get a different kind of present. And some of these presents are usually bad. Most of them are good, but some of them have a nasty surprise. So that's why I decided to heal up using the camping set. This was a good one, drops a lot of money and a potion. So that's neat. And the product changes depending on what present you get. So they're happy right now. This is actually pretty bad because this spawns enemies. Not too difficult enemies, since at this point we're used to all these kinds of enemies. And after my fumbling around, getting hit by everything and everyone, we eventually get these guys, and you can see that they're kind of freaked out that they're painting. Fair choice, I guess. Now, if we want to activate these things again, we have to go back into the room, and these are a bit of a weird enemies that have a bit of a gimmick attached to them. I believe you have to use the correct spell depending on their little animation doing. And returning here returns the tea set and seats, so we can go ahead and get back to getting our presents. It's mostly just potions. Sometimes you actually get some pretty decent stuff. Like I believe one of the items is an ether. This drops us a lot of mana, but still only gives us a potion. Joy. This one gives us an ether. That's very good. Now the last seat will of course give us another combat section. Boom. And it's another large body. Having the ability to block will be very helpful against these guys, since many of the attacks are pretty slow, so you can easily block them. But at the moment we only can parry. Using magic against these guys is also a very good idea. And yeah, not doing so well. But I managed to take them down and prevent the game over. And freaked out again. Anywho, now I can actually go ahead and proceed. And this is actually the room with the door, but everything is upside down, because of course it is. So we have to deal with these Heartless in order to proceed and do something necessary to do what we need to do. Nothing too overwhelmingly challenging, but yeah. Now, we are almost done with this world. We just need to do whatever we need to do in this place, and then we can proceed to fight the boss of this place. Unfortunately, these enemies cannot take their sweet time to take down since, well, we're playing on Proud mode and they're a bit more stronger. Yeah, and the Red Nocturnes are also, again, weak to fire, so it's very good to use it against them. Especially if there's a bunch of them in a row. You can easily take down many of them due to how Blizzard works. Just like the other light, and we are ready to proceed. So now I have to go back from the upside down world back to the, well, not upside down version of this room. Fortunately, there's a little shortcut here that allows us to get to the Queen's Castle. And this is actually on top of one of the hedges, or whatever. And in here is a chest containing Fundra G, which is, I believe, a laser gummy piece. We'll get to that once we got decent amount of gummy pieces. Now make sure you're prepared, because talking to the Cheshire Cat will summon the boss. Yeah, thanks buddy. Anyway, say hello to the Trickmaster. And yeah, long story short, I died. This is the first time I actually got a game over in the game, and yeah, kind of this happening a lot. So that's what happens if you die in a game, and you can also skip certain cutscenes. Only cutscenes that have doesn't have those pop-up dialogues. And anyway, the Trickmaster is kind of non-threatening at this current state. He is a bit annoying as he's very tall and cannot really be hit very easily. You have to jump and strike when you're at the highest peak, at best you can only get 2 hits on him. And your party members are going to struggle to hit them as well because of this. Especially Donald, since most of his magic attack will miss. If you hit him enough, you eventually stun him, which lowers him down, so it's making him easier to hit. That allows you to get a full combo too. Yeah, just like that. He also drops some health orbs, so that's good to get. Now, as I mentioned, he's easy right now, because his attacks doesn't deal too much damage to us at this point. But as you saw in the last attempt, he does have a trick up his sleeve when he's low on health. Now a good strategy is to try to be behind him, because his wings won't really hit you if you're behind him. He generally tries to swing at front. And yeah, as you can see there, we only had 4 potions. Those are the 4 potions equipped to Sora. And for the duration of this boss fight, those are the only 4 potions you get to use in the entire battle. So manage your resources carefully. You can give it to Donald and Goofy as well, but problem is they'll use them for themselves a lot likelier. So unless you got items you're willing to waste that heals all party members, I'd advise not using them, because they're gonna burn them on themselves. Anywho, at this point they start to set their juggling instruments on fire. This has a lot of nasty effects as they can now shoot fireballs at you. At the moment they only fire a couple of fireballs at you, and yes, if you stand on the table for too long they'll smash it down. It will pop back up anyway. Yeah, it'll pop up back up later, and their attacks are a lot more nastier now, dealing more damage and having a nastier range. Being the only one alive, we have only one choice but to basically just try to do our best and try to survive. Not the easiest thing, but we'll manage. General strategy still counts for the most part. Just try to get in behind them so that their attacks don't hit you. Be mindful of a certain attack where they'll shoot fireballs rapidly. That was Scalpy last time. It's pretty nasty, and if you can't get yourself to safety to heal yourself, you're pretty screwed. Of course, only if you can heal. If you don't have enough health potions, or if you use them all up, you're going to be in massive trouble. And yeah, now Goofy's back on track and Donald's still down. It does take a long time for them to get back to health. And even then, they don't recover much health at all. That's still not the point where they'll shoot massive amounts. Oh, there's the point where they shoot massive amounts of fireballs. That's a very deadly attack. Their fireball deals a lot of damage. If you get hit by 2 or 3 of them, you're pretty much boned at this point. And of course, whenever their fire runs out, they'll recharge as soon as they can. Easy to say, this boss can be very nasty if you don't have a lot of experience with this, but a couple of attempts you should be able to get a hang of all its tricks and such, and it shouldn't be too bad. So it's not going to be the worst boss fight you have to deal with in the game. Trust us, we're going to have a lot more trouble way ahead of us. I am on my last health potion about now, so if I don't take this guy out now, I'm going to be in serious trouble later. I do believe we're almost done with him though, since he doesn't have too much to... He doesn't have too much health at this point. You do get an ability later on that allows you to check how much health the enemy has, but... Yep, anyway, that's it. He's done for. And as a reward, we get a Ifrit's horn.
What a racket. How's a doorknob to get any sleep?
Well, fuck. Thank you for breaking the fourth wall, Goofy. And yeah, we get teleported automatically to the save point. And we can go back to our gamma ship to go to another world. So let's go ahead and do that. The next world is actually the hardest one of these 3 worlds you can visit, with the exception to Traverse Town. But I figure I want to go to this one first, because the reward you get for clearing this world is well worth it. And while the fight's going to be a bit more harder, it's generally still worth getting this ability early on. Anyway, so, and another reason is that traveling through each world at this moment requires us to go through each of these sections every single time. And needless to say, going through the same minigames over and over and over again doesn't really sound appealing, does it? And who some of these heartless ships are capable of firing at you, so be mindful of that. And yeah, the design of these places are really bizarre. This endless expanse of rings and whatnot. I think you could actually design the gummy ships to look like the enemy gummy ships if you could get a good look at them. But yeah, we're going through all stockpiled rings from Superman 64, I guess. Better have to go through all of these rings of Superman. That'll be horrendous. Anyway, that's our next world. Oh boy, this is gonna take forever. And here we go.
Whoa!
Graceful Landing.
Oh, my head. Donald? Goofy?
Damn it, sorry, you don't know how to block yet. Anywho, here we get to fight an actual animal here. This guy can actually be pretty deadly if you let him get an attack on you. He deals pretty massive amounts of damage. However, at this point, he's not mandatory to beat. If you lose to him, you'll still be able to continue. Also, yeah, there's no need to be said. He's ridiculously easy at this point because you can keep stunning him like that constantly. But yeah, count the amount of hits you need to deal with him. If it weren't for that, he probably would kick my ass at this point. Oh well, free experience. Okay.
Sabor. Danger.
Thank you.
Thank you.
What is this place?
This place.
Okay. Where did the others go? Look, I got separated from my friends. Have you seen them?
Hmm?
God.
Friends.
Friends.
Right, my friends. There's two of them. The loud one is Donald.
Huh?
Know what? Never mind. I'm looking for my friends Riku and Kairi.
Look for Riku. Friends.
Right.
Kairi. Friends.
Right.
Oh, friends. Here.
Really? Huh?
Friends. Here.
Not sure I understand, but show me. Take me to Riku and Kairi.
Tarzan. Tarzan. Go.
And I'm Sora. Tarzan go, Sora go.
I'm Sora Go, baby. Yeah, anyway, welcome to Deep Jungle, based off, obviously, Tarzan. Now, this world itself is kind of peculiar in a way. It is only...
Gosh, where are we? I sure hope Sora's okay.
Who needs them? We can find the kid without them, huh?
Oh,
Yeah, anyway, what I was about to say, this world is only present in this Kingdom Hearts game, and in the next game, when you revisit all of the worlds you visited in the first game, this world is absent. And I believe it's due to some copyright issues Disney had with this game, so they couldn't reuse the assets for future games. So basically everything that happens here later on basically gets completely forgotten and acts like it never existed. So, fun times. Yeah, anywho, I'm just taking my time exploring this house because there are a couple of treasures we can obtain. There's one by that suspended boat as well, but we need a special ability pretty late in the game in order to access it. I suppose not exactly late, but certainly a lot later for us. After climbing a pretty tall ladder, here we get our first treasure chest, which is on the top of this building. It's a protect chain, not that glamorous. Anywho, down here is an actual area you can walk around in. And yeah, I missed the chest here, but here it is. A Mega Potion. Heal to all party members. Very neat. Anyway, in this area, it shows you that how the platform works in the area. Like, there's no actual place where you can actually fall to your doom in this game. If you fall down a certain area, you'll just go to another area to it. And here it takes us to this place, which can play this, well, this sort of preview of a minigame we're going to play later, which involves just sliding down this massive tree branch or whatever. And later on it's going to have a pretty obnoxious puzzles involving collecting fruit. Not a puzzle, but a minigame. Yeah, a minigame that involves collecting fruit, and it's pretty tedious, and I might not show the entirety of it because it's pain. That's fine, it serves as a shortcut to this area as well. And there are a couple of things you might have noticed, but we'll leave those till later.
Jane.
Tarzan. Oh, and who's this?
Hi there.
Oh, you speak English. So then, obviously you're not related to Tarzan. Are you here to study the gorillas?
highly doubtful. Sora!
Goofy! Donald!
A circus of clowns. Not much use for hunting gorillas.
Mr. Clayton, we're studying them, not hunting them. This is research. Well, the more the merrier. Do make yourselves at home.
Well, anyway, I'm staying. Huh?
Sora, look what we found. Look at this.
And we've got a budget to keep the voice acting going, so we have to use speech bubbles. Now, Tarzan is only a party member available for this world, so for the duration I'm going to leave him in our party, which means you have to let either Donald or Goofy basically sit out. I choose Donald because I want to alternate between them and give each one of them their time to shine. Although, if you were playing this game yourself, I'd advise just going with Goofy whenever you can. Donald being not so great in combat. Yeah, so now we have to go find slides for the slide machine so we can help Tarzan identify what "ee, ooh, ooh, ah" means or whatever. You might have seen some card-like objects that were spinning around in the outside, and yes, those are the things you need to collect. There are 6 of them in total, and they're not too incredibly hard to find, just a bit of exploration is required. Speaking of the "ee, ooh, ooh, ah" or whatever, it does kind of remind me of like the Witch Doctor song. It was like ooh, ee, ooh, ah, ah, ding, dang, walla walla bing bang. And now this video gets flagged. Oh dear. Yeah, anyway, don't worry about the amounts of dialogue in this game. There's only so few worlds we actually get people to talk to. And Wonderland was easily the worst place where it has the most people to talk to. But at best over here we only got 2 people to talk to and they don't have too much to say during most parts, so yeah, should be no problem. Almost done with all the slides. There's only one more, I believe. And there it is. You can check in the inventory how many slides you have and your stocks, and yep, that's all 6 of them. Well, that's not ominous.
Well, Tarzan?
Where are my friends, Riku and Kairi? Hey, I thought...
That leaves just one place. Young man, we've been in this jungle for some time now. But we have yet to encounter these friends of yours. I'd wager they're with the gorillas, but Tarzan refuses to take us to them.
Really, Mr. Clayton? Tarzan wouldn't hide...
Then take us there. Take us to the gorillas. Gorillas.
Tarzan, are you sure?
Tarzan, go seek Kerchak.
Kerchak?
He must be the leader. Perfect. I'll go along as an escort. After all, the jungle is a dangerous place.
Duh. Totally not suspicious. Anyway, so there are no Heartless in this world at this moment. You will find Saber across the map, and he's a lot more tougher this time. He will keep popping up once in a while, so yeah. Also, Tarzan and most of the other party members exclusive to their respective worlds are usually a lot better than all of your party members. They usually have a lot more abilities and better stats than your Donald and Goofy. While Tarzan doesn't have as much health as Goofy, he does have more attack, defense, and a lot more variation of abilities than both Donald and Goofy combined. Well, maybe not combined, but it's certainly better than any of them. Probably even better than Sora at this point. Anyway, what I'm doing here is something that's actually worthwhile doing. Amidst the various objects, there are various recipe cards and ingredients. If you examine them all, you can transform potions into various of other items much better than the other ones. It's a bit similar to the actual flowers in Wonderland, except these one always gives you very good items instead of the flowers who take ether and give you camping sets. Not very useful. Anyway, we got 2 ether from that, and that's very good. This is the second experiment, and being a doofus and didn't open the door first. And now we get a high potion from that one. Very nifty. And before we proceed with the plot, I'm gonna go ahead and do some final treasure hunting. This area is of no interest at this point. This one, however, is because it has some treasures for us. Actually, I think it only has 1 treasure, but hey, 1 treasure is better than no treasure. Or no, it actually has 2 treasures. It's just in the same area, because why bother placing them in different areas, right? Anyway, that's a Mega Potion, always handy. And Mithril Shard, good for synthesizing. Now we go to the other side, and hope you like platforming and awkward gimmicks, because that's what we get in this world. Climbing up this vine will get us to, well, jumping across we get that little thing where you can jump across vines, and they're, well, they're not awful, but they are kind of obnoxious. You're basically required to press the X button whenever you get close enough to one of the vines. If you hang on too long, you'll fall and you mess up. It's actually it's not too hard to actually mess up in here and fall to your doom. Or, well, not just fall back to the previous area, which is always a pain. Also, if you're not facing the right direction with the camera, you will basically keep mucking up like I do. And I decided to go ahead and look around to see if there's anything of importance, any treasures or whatever, but there was nothing. Now this can be completely skipped by going to the end of the Hippo Lagoon and climbing the vine back there.
Kerchak, please listen to me. I know the nesting grounds are secret, but I trust them. You see, I want to help them because, well, they need us.
Oh, did you get that?
No.
Kerchak! Kerchak.
Well, that's where we need to go next. Now, if we actually got to the end of the lagoon and climbed the vine over there, we'll actually get to this area, so we can climb up to this vine to get ourselves on the way to the treehouse. You could also get to that cutscene faster if you did that, but I decided to show off the vine swinging and why you should avoid it as much as possible. Unfortunately, when to get all the treasures, you have to do that, so that's always wonderful.
good idea.
Wait, Kerchak, please.
You don't understand. I was only trying to. Ah, a snake slithered by. You see, I saved that poor gorilla's life.
Sure. Well, anyway, we'll see the consequence of this later on the next part. Bye.